Tosses, you don't throw it out.
Solid. Oh my, what
I stick and move through the madness, bob and weave the negative, blocking out the haters. My meditation is medicine.
What is up, boxing fans and gamers? It's your boy FightNightsFinest, the Sophie commentator, back with another Fight Night Champion online ranked match. And in this matchup, we got Marvin Hager going up against Keyshawn Hayes in a 160-pound middleweight showdown. And before I hop into this match, I just must say, why is this dude wearing yellow and blue shoes? Like, I understand the whole blue theory, since you got blue and black gloves and white and blue trunks, but maybe he didn't see those other colors that he put on those gloves, like black and then white, and then you gotta add yellow into there. Too many colors going around, bro. Somebody please teach this man how to dress. But heading into this matchup now, I just want to say, you know, this guy gave me that work in this first round whenever I try to come onto the inside and apply that pressure. You guys know that's how I like to start off all my fights, and if I'm able to apply pressure in the inside very well, I will continue with it throughout the duration of the match, just because my opponent was unable to adjust or force me to change anything that I was doing. And you know the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like I said earlier, this guy was just able to fire back and throw combinations extremely well. And I think part of the reason for that is because I was using a boxer puncher in Marvin Hager. I mean, Marvin Hager is, you know, he's not the fastest puncher. He's not the strongest puncher neither, but, you know, he has decent strength, he has decent speed, and he's just a well-balanced fighter. And that's the problem with a lot of these boxer punchers in Fight Night Champion. Whenever anybody throws combinations to the body and they have more stamina to you, your punches go AWOL. Like, they just become completely inaccurate, and guys are able to score quick counters with them just from throwing their regular combinations, because your punches just go AWOL and they become inaccurate. And it's a bit frustrating and annoying, and it's hard to fight with boxer punches on the inside. So you got to do what they're designed to do, you know, stay on mid-range, throw your jabs and throw your punches out there, and just try to score your shots with your jab as your lead right hand, or whatever your lead right hand may be. You know, since Marvin Hager, I'm saying lead right hand because Marvin Hager is a southpaw, but I'm using orthodox stance because, you know, that's what I'm traditionally learned from, and that's what I'm traditionally comfortable with. And, you know, I decided to change tactics up in this round. I said, you know what, you know, he's killing us whenever we come on the inside, so let's use our pressure to our advantage. Your body can sometimes, just your presence alone can make your opponent want to throw punches. You know, if you have those Viper-like qualities where you can just come in, do your damage, and then get back out, or just stand in front of him, make him throw some punches, and then you take a quick back step, he'll miss his shots, it'll keep you out of range, and it'll keep your defense good, and it'll also lower his accuracy, so you have a better chance of winning the round. So that technique, as you all know, is called baiting. It's just simply getting on the inside and then getting on the outside real quick. And as you can see, the pace has slowed down dramatically since the first round. I mean, we was up there all up in this guy's face, but now we know we're just using our pressure in our body to get him to throw punches and then land our shots after he makes his mistakes. So, you know, we get a chance to pot shot him a little bit from the outside, but also do some work on the inside and just confuse him as to when we're going to throw. That's why it's always important to be as unpredictable as possible. And that's, as you can see, is paying dividends here in this third round. So a minute left in this round, and the pressure that we're applying to this guy is just making him want to back off. And you can tell he's just one of those guys that really don't want to fight. I mean, he drops his hands at times just to bait me to come in because he wants me to chase him around the ring. And that's the thing about using good movement. I mean, it keeps the fight in the center of the ring, and it prevents you from having to chase your opponent all around the ring. And like, this is not a track meet, this is boxing, and it allows you to keep fighting going on in the center of the ring. And it also forces him to come forward when he doesn't want to. I mean, just him throwing a shot was sometimes lunging forward, like you saw there with that left hook that he tried to throw to the body and he ended up missing. So we're into the fifth round here, and like I said earlier, you know, it allows us to attract them to come forward and to move forward, and you're seeing that a ton here in the fifth round, or you're gonna see it a lot here in the fifth round. Now I switched up into the I'm sorry, I almost choked right there, but we switched to southpaw stance here, and we use the jab here as our main scorer. We're going to use the jab to score most of our shots, keep him defensively on his heels, and also allow us to stay very accurate, and then it'll set up our other punches like our hooks and our uppercuts, which will back up the score and shots that we use with the jab in order to take this round. Also, this thing and the strategy that I'm using here frustrates the crap out of your opponent. Like, it just makes them not want to throw or exchange any punches with you, and it eventually will end up breaking their will to fight. Because imagine somebody's just tagging you with punches, but they're not hitting you so hard. I mean, it just frustrates you, and it makes you want to come back on the inside and throw like hooks and uppercuts and come into my chest like a madman. And you know, that jab is such an important key in my arsenal, and I really do appreciate it, and I think I've really perfected using it as well. I mean, there's still been some times where I do miss punches throwing my jab, or I get a little bit too jab happy and I end up like throwing a ton of them that don't actually land. But I think I did a pretty good job in this fight, and I do a pretty good job on a regular basis of just landing the jab and making him come on the inside and do what it is that he has to do. So now you see he's trying to clinch it. You're starting to see stuff that he wasn't doing in rounds 1 and 3 that was shown to you guys. He's moving his head now, you know, he's bobbing and weaving in, you know, you see him dropping his hands a lot more than usual. So that just tells you that he's starting to get frustrated, and he's starting to deteriorate as a boxer. And you know, now he's coming forward a lot more too. So this Viper-like quality that we have of coming on the inside, jabbing, going back on the outside to stay out of his range, and then pot shotting him and picking on shots, is working extremely well. You know, this is mid-range fighting, and this is boxing. I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to come in there and throw as many punches as you can, and you're also supposed to remember your defensive responsibilities. But as you can see here, his offense is becoming more aggressive, and he's picking up the tempo, but his defense is starting to lack. So it's like, what's going on here? Why is this guy suddenly just becoming so frustrated? He's doing things that he's never done before. Is this his form Is this his form of an adjustment? I'm not too sure what it is that he's doing at this point, but he's trying to do something different, and I do applaud him for that. But this is a weird way to do it, and this is how you can tell the guy doesn't really have an inside game. He doesn't really know how to apply pressures to his opponents, and used to most of his opponents just chasing him around the ring and following him wherever it is that he goes, and then pot shotting him from the outside. But he pays the price there as we deliver a beautiful left hook to the head, and that's our first knockdown of the fight. So we're going to switch over into the 8th round here, where we're doing the same thing that we did in the 5th round and the 6th round. You can see there, now he's dropping his hands more than he normally did, and now it's just become really bad. I mean, the 6th round, yeah, he was doing some weird stuff, but you know, he started off the rounds with his hands completely dropped, and we still just tag him up with that jab and make him feel extremely uncomfortable. And this is where I knew that I had him, and this is where I knew I can go in there for the kill now. So you're going to see in a few seconds here how I'm going to switch back to orthodox stance, because now he's just unwilling to fight. You see his hands are down. He's trying to bait me in so I can go in there and chase him. And then I realized now I can use the orthodox stance and all my other combinations and punches from this stance as the Dragon Slayer, and to end this fight in the way that I want it, by KO. Because now he's broken down completely. The southpaw stance and the tactics that we use, especially that jab, has broken him down completely as a fighter. And now he's just forgot his defensive responsibilities. So now that power that Marvin Hager has can completely shine on this guy, even though he hits us with a counter left hook there to the body. I mean, it can shine now, and now we can get in there and do our damage like we like to. But you know, just because we apply pressure and now we're a bit more offensive minded, that doesn't mean that we do not forget our defensive responsibilities. And the thing that I noticed here that was really key in this round was that whenever I could sit down and just plant my feet, I can do some real damage to him once I get him onto the inside and I realized a certain punch was coming. So I'm like, counter punching is going to be very key for later on. Now that I'm able to get him to throw punches, why not make him pay for the mistakes that he's making? So as you can see there, that was some beautiful body work with just tons of hooks downstairs, and it made him kill over and make him feel like he had to back up. And now he's showing off some pretty nice footwork, I must say. And we get back onto the inside by just planting our feet, waiting for him to move, taking our time, and then coming right back on the inside. So we get a little hook happy here to the body, and to do costing us some stamina. But for the most part, you know, I'm pretty sure it hurt him more than it hurt us. You know, we taunted him at the beginning of the round just to get him to come back in. And now you see once again those defensive laxes that he has in his defense and his offense are now starting to show. You know, we're able to stay on the outside a little bit more here in the beginning of this round, and then we're able to launch our way in with our straight right hand. So we switched over from the jab being our lead hand to our right hand being the lead hand, because now when we go for knockouts, we nothing but forms of power shots like straights, hooks, and uppercuts without holding the R2 modifier button. to really land on this guy, and that's how we're gonna break him down. But you saw off some nice footwork there. So we stopped moving for a little bit. We slow up our footwork in order to get back onto the inside, and that allowed us to track him down a little bit better than what we was doing before. But now, as you can see here, I'm not moving that close to him now because I'm looking for a counter punch. I'm looking for a punch that I can catch him whenever he comes in lunging and being sloppy with his offense, that I can go ahead and I can hit him with. So I'm doing little tiny steps, and it ends up paying off as we get the beautiful back step straight here, and then clocking him onto the canvas for the second time of this fight. And that's going to be the end of this one, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. This is your boy Fight Night's Finest. As you can see, we broke this man's will to fight, and that's going to bring an end to the fight here. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is your boy Fight Night's Finest, the sofa commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.